welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, one and all, to a brand new edition of The Quinn Spinn. I'm your host, Quinn. At least that's how I'm known here on the program, and I'm back here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and more for another rousing and riveting installment of the official podcast of Underground Music Collective. And you just heard Revel 9's All I've Become at the top of the show. That's been our opening theme song here at The Quinn Spinn since the great year of 2014, and it will be until the very end of days. And I am joined here by somebody who wears a lot of hats, my fellow Northeasterner, Jess Antonette, joining us on the show. So first of all, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So fun fact, we've both moved here around the same time, and we've known each other for pretty much that entire time, but hustlers that we are, we're always on the go. Yeah. This might be the first actual sit-down conversation we've ever had.
I think so, because we're always just hustling, bustling, running around.
So you know what that means. This better be good.
This better be good.
It's been,
it's going to be good.
Half decade in the making.
I know.
No pressure.
Believe it.
No pressure.
I know. Long time coming.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, excited to have you. And so I introduced you, but I'll let you introduce you by answering the three standard questions. And those questions are, who are you? What are your passions? And why on earth would you want to come on the Quinn Spinn?
Well, who am I? I'm Jess Antonette. I am a pop country singer-songwriter, also a business owner, and a new dog mom.
Yes.
I do it all kind of right now.
Yeah, that is a very important part of this. The dogs.
The dogs is like, that's maybe my most important job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what are my passions? Man, I love being an entrepreneur. I love singing. I love entertainment. I love family and all that, because I think sometimes we overlook that. So that's one of my passions, to pour into them. And then what I want to be I want to be hanging out with you.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing.
Well, thank you. Likewise. Right back at you. It's good to have you here. And yeah, we've got a lot to cover because you hustle. Well, I was just talking to Danny Spiro, who's on the show. I don't know if this episode's going out after or before that one, but like we were talking about all of these hats that you wear. Of course, you're an artist, and of course you've sung and collaborated with a bunch of other artists, a lot of notable ones as well. You run Native Manor, which is an artist. I'll let you tell us what Native Manor is. Yeah.
So Native Manor was my first business, really. And it's a casting and coordination company based in New York. And that's been open for about 5 years. And when I moved to Nashville, I realized the industry did not work the same way as New York. So I kind of had to reinvent it in Nash, and we created an artist division here. So the New York one is more casting and coordination. The Native Manor Artist Division is all artist services dedicated to helping artists grow and figuring out who they are through different services that we offer.
Right. And you, as an artist yourself, have had the chance to learn so much about how this all works and how it works in different locations, different facets of the entertainment industry.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you have all of that going on, plus you're doing a lot of charity work around town through Bundle Up Nash. We've had the chance to collaborate on a couple of those events, the clothing drives and whatnot.
Yeah.
So really doing it all. My first question to you, how do you make it all work together?
Man, well, I have a giant whiteboard. It's like I do my own artist services to myself.
Right.
So it's a bunch of brand strategy. So how do I make it all work together? Time management. I knew that I wanted a business that was music related, entertainment based.
Yeah.
So it's not that far off from my music career, because it all started when I was background singing and people would ask me for subs when I had to leave town. And so Native Manor became I was casting artists to take my spot. And then I was like, I can do this remote for a living. And so it kind of does just blend together, and I just have to dedicate time to my artistry, time to Native Manor, time to the puppies, so it's just managing it, and it honestly just flows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. You just have to find a way to get all the parts moving together.
Absolutely. I think being a doer is something.
Yeah.
You know about this.
Yeah.
You could talk all day about having dreams and wanting to do things, but you have to physically wake up and do something every day to get you to your next goal.
Yes. The philosophy of no 0 days.
Yeah.
Right? Like every day something has to happen.
Every day.
It's going to ebb and flow, and some days will feel more productive than others. Some days it'll feel like you're beating your head against the wall.
Yeah.
But the point is to keep finding ways forward.
Absolutely.
And to keep finding ways to make everything work in concert, to make everything make sense. And if something doesn't make sense, then maybe that's not the thing for you right now. Maybe it's just not the thing for you, period. Right. But I think, there's also something to be said here too for the importance of managing your artistry, managing your platform as an ecosystem and as a business.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that you've become very good at, and you're helping other artists do as well. So when did you learn about, the importance of that in your own journey? What was that like?
I think I realized it really early on that, like, if I'm going to make it or be successful in this, I have to treat my artistry like a business, like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be your manager, your agent, I mean, like, everything, your publicist. So I started doing those things super young.
Yeah.
And man, I'm still doing it to this day. I will forever do it.
Well, I think there's, something to be said for understanding all those roles too, because then you get to understand what good is, right?
Yeah.
You understand what's worked, you understand what hasn't worked, and
Right.
you find people who can fill in on the things that you'd like to delegate, who can do a good job and make it work.
Right.
Right. Because at the beginning of the journey, like, it's our platform, right? And like, so we get to define the culture of that. We get to define, exactly, what we're putting forth, what we're trying to communicate out there, and, what are the values of our platform? How does that align and connect with the audience, right? And so you have to find ways to connect that, but then find people you can add to your team, right? Find people that can help support that mission, who are also in alignment, who also have this understanding of what it takes.
Right.
And going back to there's nothing that'll show you what it takes like waking up and doing the thing.
Yeah. I also think it's hard to find, I know there's a ton of people out there, but it's also hard to find someone just as passionate about your project or your business, you know? So sometimes it is hard for me to delegate because I don't know if they're going to work as hard as me. Right.
Yeah. That's so real. That's so, because you just like, that's the thing. Everybody's got their own thing too, and you can see how they're showing up for their own thing, how they're going to show up for yours.
Absolutely.
And even if they're showing up like at a 10 out of 10 for their own thing, that doesn't leave them a whole lot of time to show up for yours.
Yeah.
I think as creatives, like, as people who are wearing a lot of hats in our own ecosystems, like, you get to a point where you're kind of unemployable for anybody else because like there's so much of your time that has to go into building your thing.
Yeah.
I've definitely experienced that myself, where it's like, I just, maybe I'd pick up a freelance thing or, just something on the side. It's like, I really don't have time to do this. Like, okay, it's like a time for money exchange, it's bringing a little bit of money in, but like it's taking away from the overall vision.
Right.
So how do you learn how to say no, or how have you learned how to say no over the years?
I just say no.
Yeah.
It's like this. No.
But like, was there something that like,
I think there comes a point where you're just so overwhelmed that you have a breakdown. Like that's, I've been there. And so now I keep my time super sacred to me.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do a million things, like you have to just
block that calendar.
I'm busy. I can't. And people get upset.
Yes, they do.
And disappointed, but that's a them problem. No, not trying to be rude.
Right.
But like,
yeah. No, it is.
You're one person. There's only so much time in the day. You do the best. We're just doing the best that we can.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the one thing, like, I've realized, like, you can't get time back. Like, money,
you can't get time
you
back.
can always go make more money.
Right.
Like, money used to be the thing about this that freaked me out. Now it doesn't freak me out. It's like, all right, I'm just going to go make what I need to make. Like, that's not a problem. The time you can't get back.
And your friends who are really your friends will support you and understand that, of course you should make time for your friends and people you love and things and stuff. But when you're really hustling and they see you're in your passion and you have to work because you have a lot on your plate, they should support that. And maybe you guys schedule a time that works for both of you, and make it work that way.
Yeah. And not everyone's going to take that the same way, but like you said, that's on them. You're showing up to build your impact, right? You're showing up to build the life that you want to build, so you can in turn around and give more to all these other cups you need to fill, but you have to be able to fill your cup first. How do you fill your cup?
How do I fill my cup? And what
like your life cup? Like, how do you give back to yourself so that you can give to all of these things?
Okay, this is a good question.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, because I'm so extroverted and I host and I do all these things and I'm personable, they think I'm like that all the time, but I'm actually pretty introverted at home. So in order to really fill my cup so that I can like recharge and give back, I have to have quiet time. So that fills my cup. I'm just like relaxing. I feel like before I was working so hard and I was getting burnt out, and then I got the dogs. I'm obsessed. And they have brought me joy. It's been hectic, but they've literally brought joy into my life because I think I can get so consumed with work and music and the hustle and bustle and, you know, all the pressures that come with it and the social media, you know, all of that. And this kind of took me a little outside of music and just rooted me a little.
Yeah. It reminds you that there's more to life. Yeah.
There's more to life because we could get obsessive.
Yeah.
Artists can get very obsessive. Oh,
yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you need to like fill that cup up. Yeah. Take a step back.
Yeah.
Spend time with family and friends after I just said, say no. But, you know.
Well, there's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be, I personally don't want to, I love to go out and have a good time, but I don't need to be drinking all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I say no.
Yeah.
I say no.
That's been a huge shift for me. Like, and I just turned 37 in March, you know, so like, it's about time for me to, you know, hang it up in that regard. You know, like I went out for my birthday and it was just like, I ain't got it anymore. Nor do I have the time for it anymore. It took me
hangovers are not the same.
It took me 3 days. Like
it takes a piece of my soul every time.
Yeah. We went out Saturday. Tuesday afternoon was the first time I felt back to normal. Yeah. And I'm like, nope. Like,
and I love to have fun. Do not get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, but oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It kills you.
It does. It does. I'm sure you're the same way. Like I can't be at a point where like I'm just losing a day, just burning a day, being hungover anymore.
Oof.
I'm not in my 20s. I'm not even in my early 30s anymore. Like there's no.
It gets you. Gets you good.
You know when that shift started for me though? It started like right after like when things opened up, you know, during, I guess kind of still during COVID, you know, when Nashville opened up. I'm like, all right, yeah, I haven't been out in a while. I'm going to go out. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I lasted till 11:30 and I looked around and I'm like, I didn't miss this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I'm going to go home now.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm going to bed.
But yeah, like you have to like, I like dividing it up into, you know, 4 categories: musts, shoulds, coulds, and avoids.
Ooh.
And the things on the avoids list, like you don't do them. Or if you do them very sparingly.
Yeah.
When everything else has been done, you know,
absolutely,
including more quality time with people.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, like you have to plan that out. You have to plan out those steps back. They're very important to take.
Yeah.
But
and I can get into like cycles. Like I have an addictive personality, I think.
Yeah.
So if I start going out all the time, it's like, oh my God, I need to do, and then it's just bad. Then you lose control of stuff. So it's like, simmer down. Let's avoid it. You know?
Yeah. Look at yourself in the mirror and say you're grounded.
You're grounded. You are on the naughty list.
Yeah. No, I just had to do that to myself. Not even that I was going out that much, but it's like, you know, there's a lot coming up this summer. And it's like.
And Nashville too.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is very hard to stay on the rails here.
Oh, it's such a drinking town too. It's very social around booze. So
yeah, like for a while, I didn't really know what else to do other than drink in town, you know?
Right.
And even this past week, as of recording, like was at a CMA pre-event and like I made a joke to my Sunday Funday crew. Let's go to Broadway. And then we ended up on Broadway. Fortunately, it was Monday. It wasn't a weekend. But even then, I'm there. We went to Whiskey Row and I'm looking around. I'm like, this is really available to me anytime. That's kind of scary.
It's scary.
Because like a Monday during the summer on Broadway is like a Saturday anywhere else.
I know.
And it's like you could get lost in that.
You could.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I found myself going to, you know, midday meetings and people would be like, do you want a beer? Can I get you a drink? And I was like, no. And they'd be like, no. I'm like, no. I have things to do.
Yeah, like
I'm not the type of person that can like drink and go back to work.
Yeah, right.
Like if I'm drinking, we are out.
Yeah, like I'm off the clock. Yeah, totally off the clock at that point. Yeah. There's no focusing.
No focus. That's just cruel. Don't make me.
Yeah, yeah. Don't make me have to try to work after this. Yeah. No. Like even sometimes right across the hallway, they'll have happy hours and it's like 3 p.m. I'm like, I can't go to that.
I can't do it.
Because somebody's going to hand me a drink. And then my day is going to be ruined.
And then I need a wrangler. Because I'm going to be out till 6 a.m.
A wrangler.
We call him a wrangler. I'm like, who's the wrangler tonight?
We've all needed a wrangler once in a while.
Oh, man.
So I want to talk about the music industry.
Okay.
And the music industry here in Nashville. Because you had made a post not too long ago, you know, where, you know, a lot of artists are feeling like they're being pigeonholed, right?
Yes.
Into, well, you're an artist or you're a songwriter or you are this or that and you can only focus on that thing. Like, don't go outside that box. But in this environment, and I mean the overall creative landscape, that's just not the way things work anymore, right? For any of us. I think, you know, you're an artist, but you're also a business person. You know, you also have to have that like foundation, those systems in place in order to build your platform, your ways of bringing people in, building revenue streams, building teams, like having everything that a business needs to run, because even though you're an artist, you're also a business. So what inspired that? Because you've really been, I think, in all of your efforts, really, turning focus on like that holistic approach to artistry as business. So like, what was there anything in particular that really like tipped you off to like, this is the direction we're going?
I think when I moved to Nashville, my perspective kind of was like a little shook. I was confused because I came from New York, and that's such a hustle state. You work.
Yep.
You walk into an audition if you're in entertainment, and they look at your resume.
Yeah.
And they want to see that you're versatile and that you have other skills.
Right.
And that, you're a hard worker, you're a singer, you're a dancer, you want to be a triple threat, all that kind of stuff. And then when I came here, it was like, are you a singer or are you a songwriter? Are you an instrumentalist or are you a background singer? Are you a business owner? Are you whatever?
What's your major, pretty much?
It was like, well, I have multiple skills, and I also am a business owner. Oh, well, you can't do both. You can't be a singer and a songwriter. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, because it's literally
that does not make sense.
Yeah, singer songwriter is literally how half of artists label themselves.
Yeah, it was like they just don't think you can pursue more than one thing, and I feel like that's just in Nashville, and I could be wrong, but I just never saw that in LA or New York.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because like you see that start to like trickle into the artist community, where like I said this on Danny's episode too. There's so much complaining on Threads now instead of Twitter, but Threads is the new place where people go and complain about things like, oh, I just want to be an artist. I just want to focus on music. I don't want to make content. I don't want to worry about the algorithm. Spotify sucks. Instagram sucks. Everything sucks. It's like, these are all tools to help you if you learn how to leverage them.
Right.
And I think people get so lost in this idea that like, oh, well, I moved to Nashville. Why am I not discovered yet? Right. It's because you need all of these things.
Well, that's also a sense of entitlement.
Yes.
These artists.
Yeah. There's a lot of that, honestly. And it's like, at the end of the day, like the people who do get to the position where everybody wants to be, like they're the ones who are willing to put in that work, understand all the components of the thing that they're trying to build. Yeah. And if they don't want to do those things, they at least respect the game and they fill in roles accordingly, right? But there is just so much of this idea that like, oh, well, I'm talented, that should be enough.
Yeah, well, no one's knocking on your door.
Right.
That's just not how it works.
Right.
If you're not going to do the work, hustle, you don't deserve it more than anyone else.
Right.
There's a million, gajillion, fulfillion talented people out there, especially in Nashville and Music City.
Oh, yeah.
Get your butt up and work.
Get up
Hustle.
And work.
Make yourself better all the time, period.
And set yourself apart.
Yeah, set yourself apart.
Find a way to deliver something that your audience can't quite get anywhere else. Because there are tons of musicians, there are so many people with musical talent in the world. And in
you
Nashville.
Need more than that.
Right. Being a good musician is not enough, and you have to give people a reason to care.
Yeah.
Right. So what is your reason to care that like they're going to gravitate toward you and that the opportunities are going to be attracted to you versus everyone else doing something in a similar style to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you look at the artists who have really like achieve sustained success. Taylor Swift is the example I probably bring up the most on this show, right? Like she hasn't sounded the same her entire career. She's evolved her sound, but what it is number one, she built her team, but also she's connected with her audience in a way that I think is unprecedented in this industry. And she's used the tools at her disposal to do that. She's built her team, to have world-class professionals from top to bottom to help her spread the message and create this aura, this mystique around her platform. You look at in the country space, Lainey Wilson's another one who like, when I moved here, and I said this on another episode too, like I saw her open for Delta Ray at the Basement. New Year's Eve, I saw her perform on the CBS New Year's Eve special over at Bicentennial Park, Nashville's Big Bash. It's like, but she did that because she understood and respected the game. She understood and respected what it would take to go from here to here. And she remained herself the entire time.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And that's why people gravitate towards her though.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like there's just something about her and how she, like where she's come from and how that translates in her music. Yeah. There's like almost like I thought this on New Year's Eve when I got to go to that event. There's almost like a Dolly Parton-esque mystique to her. Like there's just something there that like you can't get anywhere else.
Her butt.
I mean,
you're like, no, I mean, Dolly has the boobs, but let's just be honest. Lainey's got the booty.
I mean, yeah.
And that doesn't hurt. But I know what you're saying. I'm just being funny.
Yeah, yeah.
But like,
I'm trying not to get canceled.
We're going to get canceled. No,
I'm not allowed to say that.
No, I'll say it. Good on her.
Good.
But also, no, what it is that even with Dolly, they have these like wholesome, rooted personalities that you just want to be her friend.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You just want to be her friend. She's relatable. She's inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good role model to young, girls, boys, everybody.
Yeah.
Really. And so I think that's why you're getting that Dolly vibe. I think she's going to have a long career.
Yeah. And the people who do are the ones that find that thing to connect them to their audience that's bigger than the music.
Yeah.
The music's obviously an important part. I'm not belittling the music at all, but like that's only one component to your ecosystem.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I think it plays to the advantage of the artist these days to like be able to build that thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because back in say like the 80s, 90s, we didn't have all these tools at our disposal.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much, whoever the label or the radio was putting in front of you, like those became your favorite bands.
Yeah.
Like how did you find others? And how did others, I think it, in a lot of respects, although it's oversaturated in the market, it's also easier to find success because you have more ability to do so on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So artist-wise, what do you have going on?
Well, I have been writing a ton this year with friends and all different people. I have new music coming out, and I released 2 songs so far this year. It's hard to put them out all the time. It's very expensive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you just got to stay hustling, stay working. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have new music coming out. I'm just trying to like be a better writer, better performer, everything, all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I feel like I'm finally figuring out like really what I want to say.
It takes time.
It takes time. I did a lot of writing for other people for a long time, and I did like sync work. So sometimes I don't always think artists are born. They're like, this is my message. This is who I am. Sometimes you have to like go on your journey. Gotta go on your journey.
Yeah. You have to, not only go on your journey to like really uncover that and uncover what's underneath the layers of, just that life piles onto us, but then get comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Like actually being comfortable being yourself and being open, especially in an industry that a lot of times tells you not to be.
Yeah.
Tells you fit this mold.
Yes.
Not only, just be an artist, but be this type of artist.
Yeah.
Or we won't work with you. We won't give you this.
Absolutely.
Like you have to get comfortable doing that. But I think also another benefit we have in this day and age is like we can be that and we can find the people by being ourselves and by putting that energy out there who really do rock with us.
Yeah.
And whoever doesn't, but the audience is out there and they're more accessible to us than ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you find your audience? How do you connect with people the best?
I think I connect the best through like humor. I love to make people laugh, and I think I'm pretty real. If you like it or hate it, I mean, I'm pretty just like down to earth, I think.
Yeah.
And
I mean, watch your
and goofy, and I don't try to be perfect, and I'm not perfect, and I'm a mess half the time, and I think that's relatable.
Yeah.
And I've had a ton of fun just kind of connecting with people on socials and sharing in the silly of it.
Yeah. I mean, your Instagram stories are some of the best Instagram stories on all of the internet.
Oh, thank you.
Especially since adopting the puppies.
Oh man.
Just
People
running
love
roughshod through everything.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, some people have been like, don't post so much or don't show this part of your life. And I'm like, listen, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going to be who I am. And you can like it or hate it or watch or don't watch.
Yeah. I've been told the same thing. Like, hey, you're a entrepreneur. You're a male entrepreneur. You can't show feelings. You can't show who you are.
That is such a crock.
And I think like, especially like, I think there was a time and a place for that in social media where it's like, everything's perfect and look how perfect I am. And you can be perfect too. But nobody cares about that anymore. Like everybody just wants to connect with real human beings again.
Yeah.
And I think AI's done good things. I'm not bashing AI entirely, but I think one thing AI has done is make a lot of people appreciate what real human connection is even more so. And like people want to know that the person on the other side of the screen is not just trying to sell them something, is not just trying to like, put this picture perfect image of themselves out there and like, oh, this is a real person that I can connect with and that I want to see do well. And therefore, how can I help them do well?
Right.
How can we connect to each other? Like, I think it's so important, I think, in our relationships here in the industry too, where it's like, okay, like how can I add value to this person's journey?
Yeah.
How can we help each other out?
And we've done that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. And it aligning in values, right? And like, okay, like I like this person. I like what they're doing. How can I help them grow?
Right.
And how is that?
That's what it should be, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like, I feel like a lot of times you might experience this just running the website and everything. People are like, gimme,
Yep.
me. Like they're takers instead of givers.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a give and take. We also need help.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs need help too.
Yes.
We don't know it all. We need to learn and grow too. So it's like, how could I add value to your life as well? You're helping me. Thank you so much. How can I help you back?
Yeah. I mean, I do run into that all the time where it's like, oh, it'd be great if you'd give this song a share.
Yeah.
Or they'll just like send me a link.
But they don't talk to you any other time.
Exactly.
Or they hit you up like the week their song comes out.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, hi. It's like, where have you been? You want to be my friend? Are we friends? Like, I don't know.
Are we friends or am I just the helpful review bot?
Right.
And I mean, that extends to live events too. Hey, have you filled out this lineup yet? Well, yeah. I mean, I what I do now is I book my lineups before they're announced.
Oh yeah.
So I limit the number of those requests that I get. It's like, here's the lineup. Hey, are you looking for anybody else? I haven't talked to you in 3 years, but I'd love to play this. It's like, well, maybe we should have an actual relationship where we're helping each other.
Yeah. Like if you're going to keep asking someone for help, support their pages, like their stuff, comment, be engaging, try to be authentic.
Yeah. And I think the previous people-pleasing version of myself, like, used to feel so evil about that. Like, how dare I ask for anything? Like, I'm here to serve and serve.
Yeah.
I am here to serve, but I can't serve if my platform too doesn't grow. Right. And so like we have to be helping each other get to the next level. It can't just be like, because when you just take on all the requests and take on all the favors, you're going to burn yourself out. Right.
Yeah.
And you're going to start to really resent this thing that you've built. I've been there before,
Right.
Even last summer I was there where it was like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep doing this.
Yeah. It's really hard.
And fortunately, when I told my niece
Glad you
that, she looked at me like I had 6 heads and I'm like, that was enough for me,
Yeah.
But like, I had to really start saying no, or if not no, just like really like refining the process of how that intake happens, right? Because otherwise people just want, people will
will take, they will bleed you dry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, I've started just not answering because people don't need a response sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't.
You know what I do now is when somebody just sends me a link, this song's out now. I'm just like, okay, here's the submission form.
Yeah.
And sometimes they submit it. Most of the time they don't.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, well, if you want to like, if somebody does that and I send them a submission form and they do go through the form, I will absolutely check it out.
Absolutely.
And probably do something with that. Right.
Right.
I want to see that they're willing to put that effort back.
Yeah.
Because if they're not willing to put that effort back, then this isn't a mutual reciprocal relationship. This is just like, okay, review man, do your magic. And it's like, man, I got things to do. I got bills to pay. I'm going to go drive Lyft after this. Like, what do you think I'm doing all day? I'm just twiddling my thumbs like, yes, okay, I'm on
It's also just like a basic respect thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Respect people's time, respect people's effort.
Yeah.
And understand how you can help the larger ecosystem and be a good citizen of that ecosystem.
Absolutely.
So what events you got coming up as far as any Bundle Up Nash, anything going on with Native Manor? Of course, you have heavy hitters every month.
Yes, we have heavy hitters the first Wednesday of every month. And it was at Live Oak, but now it's going to be at 6th and Peabody.
Love that stage.
Great stage.
Both stages are great.
Oh, yeah. And then we have a new showcase called Big Daddy Showcase. I'm Big Daddy. I'm just kidding. No, so what I wanted to do differently with this showcase is I love Nashville. We get to do a ton of writers rounds and work, alongside other artists and kind of showcase our songs. But what we don't do here is perform. Like I'm a performer. I don't think I'm like the best singer in the world or anything like that. But I think I can. My strength is like working a stage, interacting with people, engaging. So I wanted to do a showcase where each artist can get 25 minutes to perform. Whether you're a duo, trio, full band, I want to see you rock it. That is your time to show your performance chops. So you got to be a big daddy.
Love it.
So that is I think the second to last, it could potentially change, but second to last Wednesday of each month.
Okay. And is that at 6 and Peabody too?
No, that's going to be at Live Oak.
Oh, that's at Live Oak. Okay.
Yeah.
So heavy
we've done
hitters.
two.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've switched.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
But it's been so much fun. I've learned so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really excited to see. We're coming up on 1 year for heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And Big Daddy is new, but I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Keeps growing.
So plans for the future. Where do you want to take all of this?
That's a good question. Where do I want to take this? I want to show people that you can do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Not without sacrifice, but you can do it all. Anything you really want to put your mind to, if you dedicate the time to it, you can do it. I'm not a mother, but watching working mothers just gives me a whole level of respect. Like I think I took for granted my own mother, that she worked multiple jobs, got us to every game, did all these things. And she basically did it on her own.
Yeah.
And I think like when you add entertainers to that, like if you're a singer and you're a mother or you're a father and you have kids, and I'm like, how you can do it all. Like they're doing it all.
Right.
Like that is, so I feel like I also want to, have a family and still show my kids that like I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm contributing to this family.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take the business. I would love to open up in LA as well.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like a full-on entertainment company.
Mm-hmm.
Sky's the limit. I don't know. I also am writing a book.
You're writing a book?
I haven't announced any. Well, yeah.
Now you just did.
I'm writing a book. I don't know if anyone wants to read it. I'm going to keep it a secret.
Okay.
But I just want to do everything.
Yeah.
I want to explore so I don't lay on my deathbed one day and go, I wish I could have.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I tried. I wish, So I want to pursue my artistry.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be obviously a full-time artist and travel the world and entertain people.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to be a business owner. So I don't know where this is going.
Well, it's all.
I didn't even think I'd be here.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd move to Nashville.
Right.
I never thought I would own businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. I never thought I'd be here either. Like it just, where the journey takes you,
I know.
And you just have to like respond to that moment and just try to make the best decisions you can. But like, it's amazing to think like what the point of singularity, for each of us was, however we got into this, right? Like for me, it was literally starting this podcast in my childhood bedroom at the age of 26. And here we are sitting on the stage, like all this stuff's happening and has happened. And it's like, you never know where that thing can take you.
Yeah.
Until you actually start going for the thing, and you're gonna mess up.
Oh, you're gonna mess up.
We've
but
all
that's
messed
part
up.
of it.
Yeah.
That's part of the crazy journey.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe in failure.
Right.
I just think it's a lesson.
Yeah.
I've messed up so much in my life.
Yeah.
But everything leads you to where you're meant to be.
Yeah. And I think like after a while, you learn to have a sense of humor about the things that didn't go well.
Yeah.
Right?
Who cares? You make a mistake. Something doesn't work out. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like if I quit music tomorrow, just wasn't my purpose.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like whatever.
Right.
You have to trust in it.
Yeah. Now, has it always been that way for you though? Or you've just kind of like taken all of the, what people might perceive as failures in stride? Or was that something you had to learn to like?
I mean, I failed a lot.
Yeah.
I think one of my strengths that I'm proud of is I'm resilient.
Mm-hmm.
But I just look at it like what's for you won't pass you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just let things go that didn't work and just continue to try to like be a better person first and then work on my career and myself. I don't know. I think my parents also instilled like, don't be a quitter. Don't be a quitter. Just try.
Mm-hmm.
They're very motivating in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if that answers the question.
Well, I think too, like, as you go on the journey, like you have the chance to experience more. Right.
Yeah.
And like, for me, like I've had to learn not to get too high or too low. Like
you got to be even.
Yeah, something goes very well. Okay, like don't try to rest on that. Like build on that. Like okay, it happened yesterday. Now it's today. And if something doesn't go well, or at least not according to plan, like it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. Tomorrow's another day. Wake up, try again.
Yeah.
Or don't.
And learn from what didn't work.
Totally. I just don't feel like I would have this perspective in life if I didn't make huge mistakes and things didn't work out. Because that pushed me to all this.
Now, that raises an interesting question. Is there one thing in particular that didn't work out that looking back, you're like, you know what? I'm glad that didn't work because it led me here.
Yeah. I mean, I would say on a personal level, not so much musically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I was younger, I was engaged. And I thought that's everything I wanted. Marriage, family, kids.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Right.
I wasn't ready for so many reasons, but I thought I was. I wasn't mature enough emotionally. I didn't have my crap together. I was a mess. Like a complete mess. And I take on that responsibility.
Right.
If I didn't hit rock bottom and if that had worked out, I would have probably still been a mess. Probably wouldn't have worked on any trauma. I would have probably been miserable, a horrible mother, because I wouldn't have been ready.
Right.
Would never have been a singer.
Yeah.
Would never wrote my first song that led me to become a background singer for different acts.
Yeah.
Would have never toured the country or the world. I went international with as a background singer. I would never I would have never been in Nashville. I mean.
Yeah. I have a similar story.
I mean, I'm so grateful for, I don't know what you would call it. I don't think it was, I don't know.
The serendipity of life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that person ended up happy with who he needed to be with and have the life he wanted. And I think I have a very fulfilling, beautiful life.
Yeah.
So amen. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Very similar. I was with somebody for 7 years and, like we were just checking the boxes, and there was a lot of pressure on checking this box and that box never got checked. And I think I just knew deep down, like we weren't ready.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't ready. And it just wasn't the right fit, I think, for either of us. Yeah. And like, if I had stayed in that, like, I certainly would have never moved to Nashville. Yeah. She's married now. Yeah. Just ran into her last August. Amazing. It was great. Like, we're on good terms.
Amen.
And it's like, but life is going to lead you, where it's going to lead you.
Yeah.
And like, you just have to feel out intuitively what's right for you.
Absolutely.
Right. And like, the thing you place so much stock in today might not be what gets you there. It might not ultimately be that important to you in the grand scheme of what your life becomes, because like I feel the same way where it's like, I love what I've created. I love what I get to wake up and do. And not to say it's not stressful sometimes,
right?
Because it definitely is. But like at the end of the day, what else would I be doing?
Right.
Like I don't want to be in a cubicle. I want to, and I certainly don't want to be in a cubicle because somebody else expects me to do that instead of chase this dream and build this thing. Right. So I get to build what I build. She gets to go build what she's building. And it's like, okay, everybody wins, and I think that's a very important, there are so many different ways to live a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Right. And to build the life that, it comes down to building the life that is meant for you, that feels right to you.
Right.
And everything else will come in its time. And as you do that, and as you put that pure intention out there and that energy out there, like more of the same is going to come back to you.
Yeah.
And you're going to realize more quickly, I think more readily, like what's not right for you.
Yeah.
And be able to cut that, or at least minimize its impact in your life if you can't entirely cut it. But it's like, it's a beautiful journey that we're on.
Yeah.
And like it's an amazing place to get to, isn't it? Where like you just come to that place of gratitude.
Yeah. I am so grateful for all my hard moments, my breakdowns, my like messiness. I'm so thankful for the mess.
Yeah.
It just made me grow. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a requirement too, because like you have to go through some stuff to build resilience.
You have to grow through what you go through.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Go through what you grow. I don't know. Something like that.
I think the first way, grow through what you go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have to experience these things, because if you don't experience any kind of hardship, the moment you do, you're not going to know what to do.
I know.
You're not going to know how to respond to it.
And that all prepared me for this stuff. I don't think I was strong enough when I was younger. The entertainment industry is hard.
Yeah.
It's brutal sometimes, especially with, TikTok and, you have your people online who are just horribly cruel.
Yeah.
They say whatever they want to you. So
and usually don't have a profile picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always those people.
It's always those people. Yep. I don't think I would have been healthy enough to withstand some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. It's
now I realize like hurt people, and that's why they do it. And it's not about me. And like, I'm okay. I will be okay. You could say whatever you want to me. Like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing place to get to when you are able to change that relationship with the external feedback that you get, because
it's hard.
We all have those things to unpack. And I mean, going through like school and high school, like we all go through it. Everybody's a douche when they're a teen for the most part. Not you, Em. Sorry. But for the most part, like everybody goes through like, all the like bullying and this, that, and the other thing, and like, creates these stories about themselves and who they are and what they're meant to do, what they're meant to be. And it takes a long time to undo that. And I think in life too, like, especially when we haven't had a chance to go out and see what else is out there, like we just kind of stay in that safety, the safety of the bad routine, the safety of the stories we've told ourselves.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bad routine, even if it's something that, doesn't really serve us or our mission and leaves us feeling unfulfilled, it's safer than going out and trying again a lot of the time.
I know.
And we have to find ways forward, because if you're ever going to build the life you want to build, like it takes slaying that demon.
Yeah. It's uncomfortable to sit with uncomfortability.
Yeah.
And you have to sit with it.
Mm-hmm. And I think there are so many ways in society right now to distract ourselves from that.
Oh,
you know? I mean, we talked about Nashville being a drinking town. Like it's very easy to distract yourself in this town from working on yourself. And like when I moved here, like honestly, the first year I was so distracted from doing any of that work. And then COVID happens and it's like, oh, no bars to go to, none of this, none of that. And it's like, all right, well, I'm left, working my day job from home and then working my night job from home. And I like this one better than that one. And then it was, the whole thing of like, okay, I'm taking the leap from corporate America and I'm terrified because I'm going to be broke. Oh no.
I'm proud of you though.
Like it was so, I was so fearful when I took that leap, because like I was so afraid of not having money. And not to say I'm swimming in it right now.
No, I get it.
Like I'm not swimming in coins.
It's a risk.
Like Scrooge McDuck. Yeah. But like
life is a risk though.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah.
And look what you've created.
And
if you didn't try, you would have been miserable.
Right. And now I'm to the point, like I mentioned, where it's like money doesn't scare me. Oh, I'll make more of it. Oh, I'm broke right now. Okay. Well, let me go.
And goes.
Yeah. Like
money does not make people happy.
Right.
I mean, I'd like a boat, but I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Money is not going to tuck you in at night. Money is not going to be there when you're dead.
Yeah.
You die.
Yeah. It's
live your life.
Yeah.
Live it full.
It's a tool to use to build the life you want to build.
Yeah.
Right. And that when I'm finding too, like when you stop worrying so much about it, like
it comes to you.
It comes to you, and more abundance in other ways, in other areas of your life come to you, because it's not, your focus isn't on this one singular thing. You're not having this tunnel vision on, measuring your worth by that number in your bank account. Yeah. And when you're able to see again that there's more to life, like you're able to live that life fully.
Yeah.
You're able to enjoy more of it.
Yeah. Your worth, someone's worth is not how much money you have, what you do for work, anything like that.
Right.
You determine your worth. Like you have to say, I'm a human and I'm worthy of all of it.
Yeah.
Like don't let the outside dictate it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A lot of lessons here on the show. If there's one lesson from your creative journey that you would go back and tell your younger self, the most important thing, what would that be?
Ooh, that's a good question. Wrong and strong. If you're going to do something and you're afraid to mess it up, just be really strong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're afraid to hit that note, I would be so afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
But wrong and strong. Just do it with guts.
Make the mistake at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do it full.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would tell myself. Don't be afraid. Wrong and strong.
I love it. Where can they learn more about you online?
You can find me at on all the social media platforms and streaming, downloading, all of that at Jess Antonette and jantonette.com.
All right. This has been the Quinn Spinn, 2 N's in Quinn, 2 N's in Spin. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and more. Also on the socials, at Quinn Spinn Official on Instagram and Threads, the Quinn Spinn on Facebook and TikTok. Underground Music Collective is our central hub for all things independent music, creativity, community, and more. UMCNashville.com is the domain, and UMC Nashville taking to most of the socials except Facebook. I messed up. I made a boo-boo last fall and couldn't get it back. At Nash Live Shows. Full disclosure, I'm not sure when I'm releasing this episode, so our Nash Live experience on July 20th may have happened already. But if not, come to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're creating unique experiences around live music and helping the artists connect with their fans, like so much of what we talked about here today. And if you want to have updates on all those things and the occasional Creed shit post and fitness thirst trap, Gerard Longo 12. That's my real name. Revel Nine's All Become going to take us out like it brought us in. Grab some muffins on the way out.